Most women have no idea how differently men observe them when they're turned on. See, guys aren't always vocal about attraction. They don't always say what they feel. They don't always express desire through words. But a man's eyes, his eyes betray everything. His eyes become the most honest part of his entire body. And when a man is truly deeply drawn to a woman, there are 5 things he can't stop looking at, even if he pretends not to. The first thing is your energy, not your body, your energy. A man who's genuinely turned on is not staring at the most obvious parts. He's watching your vibe, the way you tilt your head when you're listening, the way you smile when something amuses you, the way you light up when you talk about something you love. Most women underestimate how powerful their presence is, but the moment your energy shifts into confidence, softness, curiosity, or a little playfulness, a man can't look away. He becomes captivated, not by your looks, but by the emotional experience of being around you. That's the first spark that pulls him in. The second thing he stares at, your lips. And not in a creepy way. A man looks at a woman's lips because he's imagining what it feels like to kiss her, to be close, to share something intimate without saying a word. He watches how you speak, how you smile, how your lips move when you pronounce certain words. Sometimes you'll catch him glancing at your mouth and then quickly looking away, pretending nothing happened. But that moment tells you everything. He's attracted, he's imagining connection, and he's fighting the urge to act on it. The third thing is your body language, the micro movements you don't even realize you're making. The way you tuck your hair behind your ear, the way you adjust your outfit, the way you cross your legs, the way you lean in when you're comfortable. Men don't know they're studying these things, but they are, because your body language reveals whether you're open, closed, confident, nervous, playful, shy, or interested. And when a man is turned on, he watches your gestures like he's watching a secret message. Every movement tells him a story, and he becomes absorbed in reading it. The fourth thing he can't stop staring at is your eyes. A man falls through your eyes long before he falls for your body. He notices when they sparkle, when they soften, when they challenge him, when they tease him, when they pull him in, without you saying a single word. Eye contact is the moment he loses control. That second when your eyes lock with his, time slows down. His heart rate changes. His mind starts imagining possibilities. Your eyes make him feel chosen, seen, understood, and that is intoxicating for a man. And the fifth thing, most women get this wrong. He stares at your confidence, not arrogance, not perfection, not flawless beauty. Confidence, the quiet kind, the kind that shows up in how you stand, how you enter a room, how you value yourself, how you don't chase, how you don't beg for attention, how you don't shrink to be liked. Men are unbelievably drawn to a woman who is comfortable in her skin. When you're confident, you become magnetic. You become someone he can admire, someone he can desire, someone he can't stop thinking about. Here's the truth. Attraction is not about having the perfect body or the right outfit. It's about the emotional experience you create without even realizing it. Men are visual, yes. But what they're actually responding to is how you make them feel. They stare at the parts of you that awaken something inside them. Desire, curiosity, respect, inspiration, longing. Most women spend their time trying to look beautiful, but the most irresistible women, they focus on being unforgettable. When a man is turned on by you, he doesn't just see your appearance, he sees your essence. He sees the softness in your feminine energy, the strength in your boundaries, the warmth in your smile, the spark in your eyes. He sees the woman you are, not the woman you think you need to be. So the next time you catch a man staring, don't panic, don't overthink it, don't start judging yourself. Just know that he's noticing something rare, something magnetic, something you probably don't even realize you're giving. Because the most attractive thing about you isn't what you show. It's what naturally shines through. What most women don't realize is that when a man is deeply attracted, he begins to notice things he never noticed before. His awareness sharpens, his senses heighten. It's almost like your presence flips a switch inside him, and suddenly he's trying to understand you, not just look at you. See, when a man is truly turned on by a woman, he isn't just observing her like an object. He's looking at her like a possibility. He's trying to decode what kind of woman she is, what she values, how she thinks, how she carries herself, and most importantly, how she might make him feel if he let himself get closer. Most men won't admit this. They'll act cool, calm, detached. They'll pretend they're not paying attention. But inside, they're watching every detail that tells them who you really are. And that's where the attraction becomes emotional, not just physical. A man who's drawn to you will stare at how you react to the world, your kindness, your patience, your Fire, your standards, the way you treat people who can't give you anything, the way you handle pressure without falling apart, the way you stand up for yourself without raising your voice. These things turn him on in a way that beauty alone can never do. He becomes fascinated with your strength, enchanted by your softness, and addicted to the balance between the two. He stares at the moments you think don't matter. The way you talk to a friend, the way you laugh unexpectedly, the way you look when you're lost in thought. You think these things go unnoticed, but they don't. These are the moments when you're the most real, when you're not performing, when you're simply being yourself. And men are far more attracted to authenticity than they ever admit. And if he's really falling for you, he stares at something even deeper, how you make him feel about himself. A man might be drawn to your beauty, but he stays for how his life feels when you're in it. He can't stop looking at the parts of you that inspire him to be more, the way you pursue your goals, the passion in your ambitions, the fierceness in your independence. Your presence challenges him. It wakes him up. It reminds him of the version of himself he wants to become. Men rarely talk about it, but attraction isn't just about desire, it's about admiration. When a man admires a woman, she becomes unforgettable. She becomes the kind of woman he can't replace because she affects him in places he didn't even know were waiting to be touched. That's why he stares when you're not looking. He's not staring at your perfection, he's staring at your essence. The way you choose yourself, the way you carry your boundaries, the way you don't beg for love because you know your worth already holds value. You want to know what really turns men on? A woman who isn't afraid to walk away, a woman who knows she's enough, a woman who's not auditioning for anyone's approval. That quiet confidence drives men crazy. It makes them want to pursue you, impress you, protect you, and win you. Not because you ask them to, but because they want to earn a place in your world. And here's the part most women never hear. When a man is genuinely attracted, he becomes a little vulnerable around you. Not weak, vulnerable. His voice softens, his guard drops, his behavior becomes slightly inconsistent because he's battling the fear of wanting you too much. He stares at you to reassure himself that the attraction is real, that the connection he feels isn't just in his imagination. If you ever catch a man staring at you with a little hesitation, a little curiosity, a little softness, understand that it's not lust, it's interest, it's admiration, it's desire mixed with respect. It's that rare moment when he sees something in you that he can't explain but doesn't want to lose, because men don't fall for women who look perfect. They fall for women who make them feel something powerful, something grounding, something rare. And you, without even knowing, might already be that woman to someone. There's a moment that happens to every man when he's drawn to a woman. A moment he never talks about, but it changes everything. It's the moment he realizes he's not just looking, he's feeling. And that shift scares him more than he'll ever admit. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine once told me about a woman he met at a small cafe. Nothing dramatic, nothing forced. She wasn't dressed to impress. She wasn't trying to get attention. She was just sitting there, reading a book, drinking her coffee, completely absorbed in her own world. He said, "Matt, the first thing I noticed wasn't her body. It was the way she looked like she didn't need anything from anyone, especially me. She didn't look around the room. She wasn't checking her phone every 2 seconds. She wasn't waiting for validation. She was calm, present, self-contained." And he said something powerful. "It was the first time I realized attraction starts with peace." Most women think men stare because they're physical creatures. And yes, men are visual, absolutely. But physical attraction is only the entry point. What actually pulls a man in is the experience of who you are without trying. So he kept watching her, not in a creepy way, just curious, captivated. He stared at the way she tucked her hair behind her ear as she turned a page. He noticed the way she smiled at the words she was reading. He watched her exhale deeply, like she was finally relaxing after a long day, and he said he felt something he hadn't felt in years. "I felt at peace just sitting near her." That's the part most women don't understand. When a man finds a woman who feels effortless, who feels emotionally warm, who feels comfortable in her skin, he becomes drawn to her in a way he can't turn off. Then something happened. She looked up. Their eyes met for half a second. Just half a second. But he said it felt like someone had hit a switch inside his chest. Her eyes didn't flirt. They didn't beg for attention. They didn't hide. They were just honest, soft, clear. He looked away first, because men do that when they're truly attracted. They break eye contact, not because they're not interested, but because they feel too much interest. He told me, The moment our eyes met, I knew I could fall for her. And here's the important part. She didn't do anything special. She didn't try to seduce him. She didn't adjust her clothes to get his attention. She didn't perform. She just was, and that was enough. Most women underestimate how powerful their presence is. They think they have to push, impress, or exaggerate. But the truth is, a man who is genuinely attracted is paying attention to the parts of you that you don't even notice. Your calmness, your curiosity, your natural gestures, your unguarded moments, your emotional availability without losing your self-respect. Men stare because they're trying to understand the woman behind the beauty. But here's where it gets even deeper. A man doesn't stare because he wants to consume you. He stares because he's trying to figure out if you're safe for his heart. Men act confident, but they're terrified of choosing the wrong woman. They're afraid of giving their emotions to someone who might not value them. So they look for clues, signs, signals. Is she kind? Is she stable? Is she genuine? Does she respect herself? Does she make me feel calm or chaotic? Do I want to get closer or do I want to run? Every glance he gives you is him trying to answer those questions. And he will stare longest when he sees something rare. A woman who doesn't play games with her worth. A woman who carries herself with quiet confidence, a woman who doesn't need him but would choose him. That is the ultimate turn on for a man. Not desperation, not perfection, not trying too hard, but effortless authenticity. So what happened to the man in the cafe? He eventually walked over, not because she gave him a sign, not because she smiled first, not because she invited him with words, but because he couldn't stop thinking about the way she made him feel, grounded, curious, alive. And that's what real attraction is for men. Not fireworks, not physical fantasies, but an emotional pull he can't shake. A sense that this woman, in all her simplicity and presence, might be the one who brings out the best in him. Men stare because they're searching for that feeling. And sometimes, without even knowing, you become the reason he can't look away. There. Hidden truth about men that women seldom hear. When a man is truly drawn to a woman, he sees her in layers. His attraction doesn't happen all at once. It builds, it grows, it deepens the more he watches her, the more he studies her, the more he tries to understand her. And he notices things long before he ever says a word. A man may act confident, charming, even careless on the outside, but inside he is constantly evaluating what he feels around you. Because for men, attraction is not just about desire. It's about safety, admiration, inspiration, and emotional chemistry. Let me take you even deeper. When a man is attracted, he begins to stare at not just your beauty, but the impact of your beauty. He wants to see how you carry it, how you handle attention, how you hold your own value. He pays attention to the moments when you're not trying to impress him. Those are the moments that matter most. Your silence, your reactions, your patience, your confidence, your emotional control, your ability to enjoy life without needing anyone to validate you. To him, these are the things that reveal who you really are. A man who is genuinely turned on by you is drawn to something far more subtle than people realize. Your emotional temperature, the tone of your voice, the softness in your eyes, the way you process a situation before you respond, the way you stay present even when things get uncomfortable. He's not just looking at your body, he's reading your soul. And then there's the part no one talks about. Men stare because they're imagining how it would feel to be loved by you. That's a powerful thought, and it scares the hell out of them. He imagines your tenderness, your warmth, your encouragement, your care, your affection, your support, your fire. He imagines how your love could change his life or break it, and that terrifies him, because most men are OT as emotionally fearless as they pretend to be. They are afraid of choosing wrong, afraid of giving their heart to someone who won't protect it, afraid of being vulnerable in front of a woman who might someday walk away. So he stares not because he's shallow, but because he's cautious. He wants to know, is she kind? Is she stable? Is she someone I could open up to? Is she someone who would value me? Is she someone who would make my life better or heavier? Men don't talk about this, but attraction for them is half desire, half evaluation. And then there's another part, the part that women usually misunderstand. When a man looks at you with interest, he's also looking for signs of whether you are open to him. Your body language tells him everything. If you're relaxed around him, he feels pulled in. If you're confident around him, he feels challenged. If you're warm around him, he feels hopeful. If you're guarded but respectful, he feels curious. If you're chaotic or desperate, he feels distance. Men don't respond to perfection. They respond to emotion. And emotional presence is the most attractive language a woman can speak, without saying a word. And let me tell you something important. A man might stare at your lips, your eyes, your curves, but what truly turns him on is when he senses that you value yourself. Because a woman who values herself automatically becomes a woman he values. A woman who isn't desperate becomes desirable. A woman who isn't chasing becomes captivating. A woman who isn't trying too hard becomes unforgettable. Men fall hardest for the woman who doesn't need them but still chooses them. Now here's the deeper layer, the part that really captures a man's heart. When a man is drawn to a woman, he watches how she moves through discomfort, how she handles stress, how she reacts when plans change, how she deals with uncertainty. These moments show him the kind of partner she would be in the long run, because desire makes him interested. But emotional maturity makes him committed. A man will choose the woman who brings him clarity, not confusion, peace, not chaos, strength, not drama, warmth, not manipulation. And when he sees those qualities in you, he stares longer, he feels deeper, he wants more. The truth is, men don't fall for the most beautiful woman in the room. They fall for the woman who makes them feel the most alive and the most understood. That's why he stares. He's trying to figure out how you make him feel and why he can't stop thinking about you. He's trying to understand the pull, the mystery, the emotional spark that you don't even realize you're giving off. Because the quietest parts of you, the softest parts of you, the most natural parts of you, those are the parts that stay with him long after you've walked away. A man might notice your beauty first, but he falls in love with your depth. And when he realizes that depth isn't common, that your energy isn't replaceable, that your presence affects him in ways he can't explain, that is when he stares at you differently, not with lust, not with curiosity, but with the fear and the hope of something real. In the end, the most surprising thing about men is this: they don't fall in love with the things they stare at first, they fall in love with the things they stare at last. The truth is, a man might notice your beauty immediately, but beauty alone never holds him. What holds him is the feeling he gets when he looks at you, when he sees the woman you are beneath the surface. Because real attraction doesn't happen in the first glance, it happens in the moments after. It happens the first time he sees you stand up for yourself with grace. It happens when he watches you walk away from what doesn't serve you. It happens where he notices your kindness even when you're tired. It happens when you choose peace over chaos, dignity over drama. Men stare at the things that awaken their desire, but they stay for the things that awaken their respect. And that is what most women don't realize. You're not trying to win a man's attention. You're teaching him how to value you. Every time you carry yourself with confidence, every time you choose your standards over temporary affection, every time you refuse to shrink just to be liked, he sees that, he feels that, and it changes the way he sees you. Because to a man who is truly ready for something real, a woman with self-respect is irresistible. She becomes the rare thing he doesn't want to lose, the kind of woman he thinks about when he's alone, the kind of woman he talks about to his friends, the kind of woman who makes him want to rise to her level rather than drag her down to his. The real reason he stares at you isn't because he's imagining your body. It's because he's imagining his future. He's imagining what it would feel like to be around you every day. He's imagining how your presence might bring peace to his life, how your voice might soften the edges of his world, how your love might strengthen him in ways he never expected. A man's heart opens slowly, but when it opens because he sees a woman who is worth opening for. So if there's one thing I want you to take away from all of this, it's this. Stop worrying about what men are staring at. Start focusing on the kind of energy you give. Because the right man won't be turned on by your looks alone. He'll be turned on by your standards, your confidence, your mystery, your softness, your strength, your entire emotional world. He'll be attracted to the woman you've become, not the woman you're trying to perform. And when he looks at you, truly looks at you, something inside him will shift. He won't just see a pretty face. He won't just see a moment of desire. He'll see a future he didn't know he was searching for. A man falls for a woman, not when she proves she's perfect, but when she proves she's herself. So let him stare, let him wonder, let him feel the pull, let him realize your value without you lifting a finger. Because the woman who doesn't chase, the woman who doesn't beg, the woman who doesn't perform, the woman who already knows her worth, she is the woman he cannot forget. And maybe, just maybe, that woman is you.